the orbit of the moon 30 years from now, and there's a small chance it could strike Earth directly with potentially disastrous effects, astronomers reported yesterday. What astronomers? None less than Brian Marsden of the Harvard-Smithsonian Center for Astrophysics in Cambridge, Massachusetts.
Sure.
What do you mean, sure? What do you mean? What's a dismissive sure?
Well, sure.
You don't care about this, do you?
No.
By far, the higher probability appears to be that on Thursday, October 26, 2028, 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time, the object will hurtle harmlessly past at a distance of 26,000 miles from the planet's surface. That would be the closest approach by a cosmic object this large in modern history. But scientists are careful to note many uncertainties in the calculations at this point. And they'll try to refine this object's orbit over coming years with new observations, and also by checking old photographs to see if the object appears in any of them, and may also refine their estimates of the object's size up or down as they learn more about its composition. They think right now it's about a mile in diameter and is going to come very, very close to the planet in the year 2028. So don't figure on having a Halloween party October 31st. Because it's going to reach us on October 26th.
You really are just a nitwit.
What are you talking about? I'm alerting future generations, not even future generations, young people in this generation, to the things that they must do. I say head for the hills, man. Latest development in the presidential sex scandal, word that independent counsel Kenneth Starr has subpoenaed another.
Don't you shake my tree. If you don't like my features, don't you shake my tree. That's the way I was born. That's the way it's gonna be. But I gotta get out of here. Imus in the morning.
Do we need to subject the office of the presidency to this?
Why does the office of the presidency? We elect him and then we kick him out.
We knew that was happening when we re-elected him. Should have elected Dole. The people knew. The people said, "Well, we'll still elect him." And
he's another person who just puts his pants on one leg at a time.
If you elected drunk, you might have the president in rehab. Well, you got to expect it. You elect a sleazeball, see you in court.
No, I shouldn't. Delayed nothing. Absolutely not. I mean, that's ridiculous. It's just absurd.
If this were a situation, you started sounding out like you might have had a glass of testosterone over the weekend, and then
this were a situation,
what?
Where Dole were president,
Brian,
and these allegations have been made against him, you two would have a completely different story, wouldn't you?
It's a very different situation.
no pattern of behavior. He's a war hero.
The way you move, gonna make you sweat, gonna make you groove. Imus in the morning.
You idiots.
Just lucky not to be screwed. So Bill Handley put this book on the bestseller list. There was one on the Wall Street Journal's list yesterday at number 15, and now here he is to explain why he decided to go out of his way to screw the I-Man. Good morning, Mr. Kurtz.
Good morning. Now I'm a weasel, huh?
No, weasel? Weasel? Low-rent maggot. How does that sound?
How have I screwed you?
By going on all these other programs.
A media-savvy guy like you should know.
Yeah, you're the media critic. You're not some schmuck. You're the media critic for the Washington Post.
You have to ask? All I've done so far is Nightline.
Were you on Charlie Rose?
No, I haven't done Charlie Rose yet.
Were you on Good Morning America this morning?
Yes, but I could have done...
All I've done is Nightline. You sound like McCurry holding a press conference.
If your radio sounds funny in the morning, you're listening to Imus in the morning.
Do you, Warner? What do you think?
See, he said he wasn't on Charlie Rose. Well, maybe it's state that it's in the can.
This is the guy.
See? And it's going to be played.
This is the guy who wrote Spin Cycle. Did you tape Charlie Rose?
Not yet.
No. I won't talk to you in the morning.
Confirm at this time that I have not yet taped Charlie Rose.
How would you like to be able to read the morning newspaper in 10 minutes?
Until the hour. I saw Keenan Ivory Wayans interviewing some actress, and you couldn't watch it. It was so painfully lame.
Baby, you got a nice booty. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. She was talking about what she liked, and she liked a man with a nice butt. I mean, it's just mindless. And then the audience is going a woof, woof, woof deal, which they did 10 years ago with Arsenio Hall, right? And what was mindless then.
By the way, General Sweeney's going to be on 5 tonight.
So, Jello, what's up?
If your radio sounds funny in the morning, you're listening to Imus in the morning.
But he did pitch well. So when will he start again? Manager Joe Torre was asked that question.
Don't ask me that question. I can't take it.
You know, it's like when my son acts up. It's best to ignore rather than respond to immaturity like this.
Now we're going to diss our kids on here, huh? Oh, that's great.
But it'll whip him.
Go pull the rest of your hair out.
Go lie in your face.
Oh, God.
Sports Radio 66 WFAN.
Well, if y'all like pasta, there's an...
Imus in the morning, 2020 sports with Mark Breen. Do it, boy.
Mackey drives into the lane. His runner is up. It's no good. The tip is no good. The buzzer goes off. Richmond has won. Richmond has beaten South Carolina 62-61.
A maddening opening day in the NCAAs. Good morning, Mike Breen with Sports. Bob Black the call, WRNL. 16 games yesterday, 2 overtimes, 3 others decided at the buzzer, including that huge upset you just heard, a 2-seed. South Carolina out. They lose to 15-seed Richmond. Second year in a row, the Gamecocks lose in the first round to a very low seed. South Carolina coach Eddie Fogler was asked about the heartbreak.
We'll have to live with that. Is that the end of the world? Heck no.
It is the end of your season, though, once again, a little prematurely for Eddie Fogler and the Gamecocks. Toughest game to watch yesterday, Indiana against Oklahoma, because you're torn watching it, rooting so hard for bully Bob Knight to lose. But then you see those poor, hardworking kids who play for him, and you think of the hell they'll go through if they lose the game.
Yeah.
So it's very torn emotionally. But the hardest part of watching this game, as it went on, the camera close-ups of Knight, and there in both corners of his mouth, the white foam building up.
No.
Not on one side, but both sides, making it nearly impossible to look at the kid.
What is
the
that,
TV.
Charles, by the way, that happens
I
in some
don't
people's
know.
mouths? It
Some
just makes
people,
you sick.
It's saliva, and as the mouth works, apparently it tends to foam slightly.
It started caking up on him as the game went
Oh,
on.
come on, Mike.
It's very unpleasant, and somebody should tell the coach to please wipe the corners of
But
the
what
mouth.
can be done to correct that?
Just moisten your lips. Do anything.
Punch in the mouth.
I'm sitting there watching it, moistening my lips the whole time. I wanted to call CBS to ask the director not to put him on camera.
It's making you sick.
Stop it. Get away from the
It's
camera.
unpleasant.
He's a fat, 65-year-old, fat, loudmouth moron still screaming at these kids. I mean, I don't understand that.
I don't know.
Maybe he wants to go into radio. He's auditioning.
Here he wants to start a ranch.
Take over for Imus.
For little kids.
You know, you're a piece of dog.
No, there you go. Perfect example.
I tell you, do you think the Bob Knight's players make fun of him like you guys do me? I don't think so.
No, absolutely.
No way, Coach.
Right.
By the way, you just wiped that side.
Come on, you idiot.
Another game that was tough to watch, Princeton beating UNLV 69-57. On one side, you have the spoiled, pampered athletes from the Ivy League facing the student athletes from UNLV who were unable to practice all week because they had exams. That's pleasant.
That's lovely.
Way to go, Coach.
Princeton back toward them to death.
That's pretty accurate.
That's not the way he looked.
That's about the way he
That's
looks.
not the way you look.
That's the way you looked yesterday going on about Howard Kurtz.
UConn had a struggle but survived. FDU gave them all they could handle, but UConn wins at 93-85. Both number 1 seeds that played won. North Carolina sunk Navy.
You're such an idiot.
And Lute Olson
North Carolina sunk Navy.
Lute Olson and Arizona embarrassed Nicholls State by 39. How about calling off the Dogs when you're up by 25 or 30?
No. Put the hammer down.
No, they want to be in the NCAA. They got to play.
That's
Darn right.
Absolutely. No, we don't need that. That's what it is. It's March Madness. We want to see people get humiliated.
Not March Madness.
That's exactly right. 11 minutes now till the hour.
Now, Media Watch, an application of exegetical pesticide to a particularly rank repertorial rodent by Imus in Washington's chief exegetical exterminator, Walter Cronkite. Quick, get the flit. Pump up the pressure in the tank sprayer, aim the nozzle at the baseboard crevice where this dark, scuttling, scabrous thing last retreated, and let the fluid fly. We attempt today to flush out Rodentus reportus repugnant, Howard Kurtz, the media reporter who demeans the dignity and stature of the once noble Washington Post, whose byline reduces a fine old newspaper to fish wrap, to the stuff your parakeet takes a crap on, to a convenient material for compliance with pooper-scooper ordinances, or in the bluntest of terms, a wrapper for Yes, it's a yank out the stops day, and we're going full fortissimo on the aforementioned Mr. Kurtz, author of the new book, Spin Cycle, which, if we have our way about it, will never, ever mean anything more than a setting on your mother washing machine. Why our enmity against Howard Kurtz? Yeah. Because he is the walking, talking apotheosis of James Carville's death of loyalty axiom. Permit me a brief explanation. This butthole basks in the incalculable good fortune of an enthusiastic reception for his unreadable book on the Imus in the Morning radio program, receiving pre-publication exposure as though Jesus had written the damn thing. And then, after agreeing with Imus to appear on his program on Spin Cycle's official publication date, ruptured his bond with the I-Man, appearing on every other program he possibly could without cloning himself, breaking the old 36-hour appearance record previously held by William H. Ginsburg, a mark nobody believed would ever be eclipsed. Kurtz was everywhere. Nightline, The Charlie Rose Show, Good Morning America, ATM machine security cameras, for God's sake. And yet, perhaps we only have ourselves to blame. For who really is startled by such behavior from a man who kicked White House Press Secretary Mike McCurry's legs out from under him and then drove a stake through his sunken chest? You'll recall the matter. Kurtz certainly does in graphic detail in Spin Cycle, exposing to the world the off-color and off-record remark village idiot McCurry made, in which he alluded indelicately to Bill Clinton f***ing a mummy, leaving the clear inference that the mummy he was f***ing was the f***ing First Lady, for crying out f***ing loud. Reprehensible? It doesn't get any f***ing worse. And so, we conclude with a glancing aside to the big basketball tournament, with what we hope is Howard Kurtz's Final Four. Nightline, Charlie Rose, Good Morning America, and if there is a God, Unsolved Mysteries. For Media Watch, this is Walter Cronkite. Thank you and good night.
Don't forget Rob Bartlett and the Bartletts appearing at the Maryland Theater in Hagerstown, Maryland. Big show. Bartlett singing them doo-wops, Rob singing that Big Button Woman, all tomorrow night, so y'all check that out now.
We've been together since way back when. Sometimes I never want to see you again. But I want you to know, after all these years, you're still the one I want whispering in my ear. You're still the one I want to talk to in bed. Still the one that turns my head. We're still having fun, and you're still the one. Imus in the morning.
Imus in the Morning program, Hank Hill.
Your cheating heart will make you weep. You'll cry and try to sleep.
Although at first I thought this El Nino was some South American James Bond villain manipulating the world's weather systems through some insidious Machiavellian machine, I think it's almost worse that it's a naturally occurring phenomenon. Because we could always get some super suave secret agent to destroy the Archfiend's underground fortress and save the world, but that Mother Nature is one omnipotently powerful and cruelly unstoppable bitch. And now, as if I wasn't already frightened by these biblical-type floods, tornadoes, and snowstorms we're getting, I gotta worry that some mile-wide asteroid is heading for us, bearing down with a vengeance like Oprah Winfrey toward a cattle ranch. Though I think the clear cutting of the rainforest is a fair sacrifice for the perpetuation of the world's toilet paper supply, at least man's penchant to speed along the process of eradicating his own species is something we have some damn control over. Something we could stop if we felt like it, like quitting smoking. But apparently, this space rock that's presently hurtling towards us is an unavoidable scientific inevitability that we're almost powerless to deflect. I say almost because these mouth-breathing, egghead astronomers can't decide yet how close the damn thing's gonna get to the Earth. How come they can put a little toy car onto the surface of Mars within 6 or 8 feet of where they want to stick it? But when it comes to whether or not my bony ass is going to get pile-driven into China by a giant piece of celestial shale, these paste-eating pocket protectors have a margin of error of 180,000 miles. I know it's not supposed to happen for another 40 years, but should it hit the Pacific, it's going to cause a tidal wave that could pretty much alter everyone's dinner plans from L.A. to the Grand Canyon. Here's a little heads up for you. you'll be having seafood. That is, unless we can force these high IQ junior Einstein mathletes to get on their damn slide rules and figure out a way we can divert this planetoid somewhere where it won't do as much damage. Like, oh, I don't know. How about Mexico?
Coming up on the top of the hour, Chuck's going to do the news, and then, well, we'll take out somebody.
There's a man who leads a life of danger. To everyone he meets, he stays a stranger. Every move he makes, another chance he takes. Odds are he won't live to see tomorrow. Imus in the morning.
This is WFAN in New York. It's time for the news, and here with that is my friend Charles McCord. Good morning, Chuck.
Morning, I-Man.
Oh, girl, get out of my mind. My love for you is way out of line. Better run, girl. You're much too young, girl. Imus in the morning.
Miss the Earth.
Oh, okay.
Year 2028 is going to pass about 600,000 miles out, about 3 times the orbit of the moon.
19 after the hour. Howard Kurt's coming up.
Here now on the Imus in the Morning program, another excerpt from the Bill Clinton Diaries.
Dear Diary, well, March Madness has officially begun, and it's one of my favorite times of year. Because there is nothing better than watching the sportsmanship, hustle, and heart of a college athlete before he's been tainted by the cutthroat world of professional sports. Not to mention those co-ed cheerleaders and them short skirts and little panties doing splits on the gym floor. Damn, some of them little girls are fine. One year, this hot little blonde from Fordham University started to cheer, "Give me an F, give me a U," and I almost fainted. Back when I was governor of Arkansas, I used to hold my own slam dunk competition, had a shot clock, and tried to stuff as many as I could before the buzzer. Talk about a layup. You know who used to love the NCAA? Jim McDougal. But I guess he's seen his last Final Four. To paraphrase Warner Wolf, if you had Jim McDougal living out his sentence, you lost. Anyway, seeing as we're getting down to the wire here, I guess I should pick my Final Four. Here goes. Vince Foster, Ron Brown, Jim McDougal, and either Betty Curry, Kathy Willie, or Monica. That one's still too close to call. Love, Bubba.
Good morning, Joe.
Hey, I-Man.
You want to go to that NBA All-Star game, don't you?
Absolutely.
How much will you bid?
Well, if you're going to run with the big dogs, you got to get up the porch, so I'll bid $7,000.
You got the tickets.
You're the man.
What do you do for a living?
I'm a banker.
No kidding. Right. So not even going to be your money, is it, baby?
No, this is my money, I-Man.
Joe, thank you very much.
Say hi to McDougal.
All of the money.
If your radio sounds funny in the morning, you're listening to Imus in the Morning.
60 Minutes, Mike Wallace. Good morning, Mr. Wallace.
Good morning, Mr. Imus.
I talked to 2 60 Minutes correspondents recently, Ed Bradley and Steve Croft. And they both told me that there are periods of time over there when they refuse to talk to you.
No, it's the other way around.
It is?
Believe me, they're fine. Croft is a fine young man. There's nobody better than Bradley.
What's some racial thing? You didn't call Bradley some name, did you?
Who, me?
Just kidding.
Not and live.
Imus in the morning. Sports Radio 66, WFAN.
Next. And we'll be back again Tuesday night at about 10:30, right after the Knicks game. Knicks, of course, are playing tonight, taking on the Cleveland Cavaliers. John Minko with a play-by-play here on The Fan. Thanks to Joan Chin and Ellen Roberts. We'll catch you again Tuesday. Have a good one.
Sports Radio 66, The Fan, WFAN.
WFAN is on the
Threes with rain, that's what's happening. I'm Joe Tolleson with 2020 Sports on WFAN, the flagship station for New York Knicks basketball.
Here's Ferguson, jumping the pass, high post for Hayes, knocked away, stolen by Artest, races in from the right, Artest lays it up, no good, knocked out of bounds off of St. John's hand, and the Detroit Titans will get it. Artest made the steal, but missed the bucket that would have tied the game. 6-point lead for Detroit. 25 seconds to go. Here's Charles down the right sideline. Hands it off to Lopez. Lopez out of the circle. Fakes the three. Fires it on the way. Good, and he got fouled! Lopez hit the three, and he got go to try and cut the Detroit lead to 2. Hayes up with the right hand and rolls around and out. St. John's down 2 with the ball. 10 seconds to go. Here comes Charles down the left sideline. Hands it off to Lopez. Lopez cuts across the top. Lopez pulls up. Fires a 3. No good. 1 second to go. Hamilton the rebound. Doesn't get it off in time. Detroit wins the game.
Sports Radio 66, the fan, WFAN, New York.
Good morning, everybody. How are you today? Saturday morning in New York, the 14th day of March, 1998, and it was a brutal day for the local teams in the college basketball NCAA tournament. You heard Tim Welsh yesterday afternoon. A brutal loss for them, Syracuse, and it wasn't much easier for St. John's last night. A 2-point loss to Detroit in Chicago late. Fran Fraschilla, very nice of him to get up first thing. Give us a couple minutes to kick off our Saturday morning show. Fran, I certainly...
Oh, it's happening.
Car with Diane Zawara, Billy Bob.
I reckon you all know what I think about this whole Iraq deal. Well, I reckon we need to finally take out that Saddam Hussein once and for all, because he won't let them UN investigators see his stockpile of weapons no more. Although it ain't like he was being all that forthright when he was letting them see him, because them UN investigators always told him when they was coming, so he had time to hide the real dangerous ones. But now we're saying we's getting ready here in a couple days to bomb Iraq. And all that's doing is giving Hussein time to hide himself. I just can't figure why it's so hard to take out one feller. Because the president didn't seem to have no trouble with that Foster guy.
Shut up.
Of course, it wasn't all that easy for him to hide, seeing as he was right there in the middle of that park.
Oh, no.
But I'm a-wondering if and maybe Bubba don't really want to take Hussein out in the first place. Not 'cause he ain't all that good-looking. President don't seem to mind taking out ugly people, at least in the Oval Office. Not that it's the same kind of taking out, although I imagine he'd like to take out that Madam Monica the same way he did that Foster guy.
Oh, no.
But if the president kills that Hussein, he won't have Iraq no more for a diversion. Some people call it a distraction. I call it a diversion. So long as Hussein's around, people be worried more about him than they are about that Madam Monica deal. So president's got to bomb Iraq, but give Hussein enough notice so's he can hide. 'Cause if he don't, Bubba won't be able to hide behind Hussein. 'Cause if he kills Saddam, he'll have to end up killing that Madam.
Good morning, Joe.
Hey, I-Man.
You want to go to that NBA All-Star game, don't you?
Absolutely.
How much will you bid?
Well, if you're going to run with the big dogs, you got to get up the porch, so I'll bid $7,000.
I got the tickets.
You're the man.
What do you do for a living?
I'm a banker.
No kidding. So not even going to be your money, is it, baby?
No, this is my money, I-Man.
Joe, thank you very much.
Say hi to McDougal.
All of the money.
If your radio sounds funny in the morning, you're listening to Imus in the morning.
60 Minutes, Mike Wallace. Good morning, Mr. Wallace.
Good morning, Mr. Imus.
I talked to two 60 Minutes correspondents recently, Ed Bradley and Steve Croft. And they both told me that there are periods of time over there when they refuse to talk to you.
No, it's the other way around.
It is?
Believe me, they're fine. Croft is a fine young man. There's nobody better than Bradley.
What's some racial thing? You didn't call Bradley some name, did you?
Who, me?
Just kidding.
No,
I'm just kidding.
Imus in the morning. Sports Radio 66, WFAN.
This is the Imus in the Morning program, WFAN New York. Right now it is 20.
In comment on headline issues of the day, I'm Miss Washington's senior political analyst, the late Richard M. Nixon.
Wrong. The headline issue, singular of the day. Imus in the morning. Sorry to have to correct you so abruptly, J.D., but I shall only explore one item this morning. The most potentially disastrous threat we as a sovereign people have ever faced. And I'm certain you know already what I'm referring to.
No.
Never in our history have we been challenged in this way. Wars, economic travail, nothing has ever posed more potential for the utter devastation of our republic and our people. I'm talking wholesale ruin here, than the monstrous peril that looms over us all.
My God, what is it? Saddam? Anthrax?
Worse than your acting, even. Al Gore! Could there be a more awful creature on the Almighty's list of things I regret making?
No.
Now it's this love story, brouhaha, J.D. Ozone Boy covering his ass by saying a miscommunication was responsible for his having led everybody to believe that Eric Siegel based creation's single most dreadful book on Al and Tipper. Here's how I get it. Gore, out of nowhere, suddenly floats this love story fantasy in front of a bunch of reporters on Air Force Two.
Yeah.
Does nothing to knock it down. Then, or later, until Siegel hears about it, calls and says, in effect, "What the self-aggrandizing are you talking about, you overbearing blowhard?" Then that hits the papers, and suddenly we've got Sandtrap Head having to make another one of those, well, in this case, no controlling literary authority, unadulterated BS, Buddhist temple, fundraising phone call, typical Clinton White House, do not indict me, oh my darling, Johnny Cochran, golf ball chipping, cover my wooden butt jive statements. I swear to God, man, this guy would rather make something up when the truth would have served him better.
Well,
everybody thought Ted Agnew was a weasel? Hell, we had no idea. If somebody doesn't rein in this fool, the next book that's going to be based on Mr. Gore will be How I Finally Fibbed to the Point I Handed the Nomination to Dick Gephardt. These people are absolutely unbelievable, J.D., and shameless. Here you've just tried to peddle the American government to the Chinese communists, and who do you make an assistant attorney general in Janet Reno's I See Nothing Justice Department? Bill Lan Lee. Hello, Earth to Taipei or wherever. And how far does the cover-up atmosphere go?
Huh?
Right down to the Christmas card that Goober Outfit sent you, Dono. Oh, just lovely. White House, dreamily awash in gracefully drifted snow, dead of winter, and there are green leaves on all the trees. God, can't these people get anything right?
No.
Ever? And now we're told that Bill is giving Al greater, more visible stuff to do, setting him up for 2000. May I suggest, then, 2 pooper scoopers? One for cleaning up after the dog, and one for cleaning up after the vice president. Jesus. A dim view through the old Dick scope today, I dude, by one who knows. Dick Nixon, deceased, one-time president of the very same United States.
You want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
Imus in the morning.
Did you say anything you could we turn a recorder on and get something out
Make
of
a promo out of it.
If your nightmare sounds funny.
No, it wasn't. I didn't have you there, Bernie, or Chuck, to help me. I was on my own. So I was hollering about some lawsuit involving an African American.
Yeah.
And that's the phrase I was using, African American. And I pointed out to this woman that that's not the phrase I would use in the office. And then somebody called me.
What?
And they said, well, are you suggesting you use the N-word all the time? And I said, no. I don't use the N-word. And I've said it a million times. But I don't use, well, not a million times.
Well,
but I don't use it. I never use it in a racial sense or in a disparaging sense. But I mean, it would be foolish for me to deny that I had ever said it.
I see.
So that was my only point about it. I just thought it was amusing that I was trying to be so politically correct talking in my sleep.
In a sleep episode on a buckwheat pillow.
On a buckwheat pillow. Afro-American on a buckwheat pillow.
Maybe you were feeling guilt.
I don't know.
Give me some stymie slippers, yo.
But
Jeez, what's the matter with you?
Do you know that when I went to grammar school, the grammar school I went to was half black, out there in California, Southern California. Well, I never heard, and we had black housekeepers when Fred and I were growing up, and I never heard the N-word until I was 17 years old and in the Marine Corps. I never heard that word, and I was raised around black people. Isn't that weird?
You had black housekeepers?
Yeah.
Didn't have a mammy-gate thing going on, did you?
No, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So anyway, so I just thought that was sort of amusing. So anyway, this guy called, this friend of mine, not a friend of mine, a friend of my wife's.
You drool in your sleep still? You still drooling in your sleep?
He drools while he's awake. You know, if you drool on that buckwheat pillow, you're going to wind up with something like, I don't know, tapioca.
Well, anyway, somebody thought it was appropriate. I don't know what my point is there, but I'm not suggesting.
Just an idiot.
By point. I mean, some people do. I know this is just is disturbing. And it's somewhat embarrassing to me that anybody would take any sort of guidance or pattern themselves after anything that I do, because I think it's inappropriate.
That is disturbing. You're
really.
right. God.
I mean, maybe you can read some books I recommend, stuff like that, but maybe not. At any rate, I'm not suggesting that the language I use in my office or off the air is appropriate language all of the time. But I'm not going to deny that I do it either. So, and I don't care whether anybody likes it or not. That's not the point. I'm not a racist. I never nor in fact, quite the opposite. Agreed. So, and I'm a good person. But the point is, well, I am a good person. But I mean, I'm a prick too. But I mean, hey.
Yeah, it's going to get dark tonight.
But but that's that deal. Here's Susie from San Antonio, Texas, and she's on line 4, and she called 1-800-370-IMUS. How did you get that? I guess you got the number when I gave it, didn't you?
I certainly did.
That was a
Long ago.
That was a mistake, wasn't it?
Yeah, probably.
What's up with you, baby?
Well, I had a question. I was curious as to whom you really targeted your audience. I thought, as I was passing between the rooms, I have you on in two rooms, that you made a comment about your audience being people that lived in trailers, and I don't. I have 4 college degrees, and I find it very interesting to listen to you.
We don't target it to anyone. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's why we're in trouble.
Yeah, it's not. I'm not trying to appeal to anybody, and nor have I ever. We just do it because we like doing it.
Oh, well, I enjoy it also. I had been very disappointed in our local television because...
Well, this is not going to help sucking up to me. You're not going to get it.
No.
Then it annoys me anyway.
Let's hear it.
No, it's much more educated.
4 college degrees?
Yes, and I'm also a dentist, and I thought I heard y'all talking about something with about 2 teeth and 4 teeth as well. What was that?
I don't know. I just think you've got it. Do you have a job?
Yeah, I'm a dentist.
You what?
I'm a dentist.
Oh, you're a dentist?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I also wanted to make a comment.
What, Charles?
She said she's a dentist.
I heard her.
I certainly am.
I'm sorry, ma'am.
I heard her.
Doc. Jeez.
And I want to make comments about the
Do you
N-word in
fondle
my
your
life.
patients ever?
Pardon?
Have you ever fondled a patient?
No, I've had some try and fondle me.
Oh, you have?
Yeah.
I'd like to drill you, baby. Get that laughing gas there and be grabbing a hold of it.
No. In fact, there was one fellow that had a female assistant on one side of me on the other side, and he said it was pretty neat when you could lie down and have drugs and have a boob in each ear, but at least that.
Oh, you don't need that.
No.
You've got a lawsuit there, sounds like.
You work in the White House?
Yeah. Were you cleaning Bubba's teeth, were you?
No, we've not met.
Yeah.
No, fortunately.
All right, go to work. Get off the phone. I'm tired of talking. It's 2 minutes till the hour here in the Imus-March program. That's old Susie from San Antonio, who's got obviously nothing to do down there in Texas, but put one jug in one ear and one in the other. I don't understand all that, but I don't either.
Just because I ask a friend about her, just because I spoke her name somewhere, just because I rang her number by mistake today, she thinks I still care. I'm a in the morning.
Count.
Will make you weep. You'll cry and try to sleep.
You know, with all this violent weather we're having lately, I was starting to think this El Nino guy was more dangerous than Saddam Hussein. But then that Boris Yeltsin fella starts in, saying if we decide to invade Iraq, we'll effectively be starting World War III. Somebody's got to take this fat little lush to an AA meeting. Because I don't know about you, but it don't give me that warm and fuzzy feeling knowing that the man in the Kremlin with his finger on the big red button is acting like one of the Baldwin brothers. I thought the shift away from their being godless communists would improve diplomatic relations between us. But the fact that they got a leader with a nose on him that looks like a roadmap of Moscow and who thinks every night's New Year's Eve don't do nothing to help me sleep at night.
No.
This Russian rum is dangerous. We're so worried about that mountain martinet in Iraq dangling this germ warfare stuff over our heads when the real weapon of mass destruction is this face Shostakovich's 200 proof breath. I, for one, could do quite nicely without my vital organs liquefying. But Yeltsin ain't afraid of no warhead full of anthrax. He'll just crack that puppy open, blow the foam off, and chug the sumbitch. I'll tell you, we never had these kinds of problems with that Gorbachev guy. And if anybody had an occasion to drink, it was him. Walking around with that unsightly splotch on his noggin like somebody tagged him with a paintball gun. I tell you, I'd be swilling out of a vodka bottle, too, if I had to go through life with a purple tattoo in Czechoslovakia on my head. But at least he behaved like a dignitary. I mean, what is it with world leaders these days acting like they're living at Delta House? If they ain't lying to the UN house mother about hiding cans of chemical weapons under their beds or doing shots of vodka till they're blotto, they're getting head bobs on their trouser goblins from one of their little sorority sisters. These guys treat international diplomatic relations like they're at some giant pledge party. Well, if that be the case, pass me the beer bong, because when the world blows up on account of its being run by a bunch of frat brothers, I don't want to be the only one without a buzz on.
Don't be cruel to a heart that's true. Don't be cruel to a heart that's true. I don't want no other love, baby, it's just you I'm thinking of. Well, you know I can be found sitting home all alone. If you can't come around, well, at least please telephone. Don't be cruel to a heart that's true. Imus in the morning.
How would you like to...
Well, actually...
Son? Okay, I was at a ball game.
He was at a ball game.
Yep. And so, like, when I saw the Bud Light vendor, I went to raise my arm so he'd see me.
His arm arose.
Exactly, but I hit my funny bone on the seat next to me.
No!
Yeah, so I just raised my other arm instead and, you know, got his attention in the Bud Light.
He got the Bud Light. Young man, do you ever look back and wonder what would have happened if you'd just given up, if you hadn't followed your dream of making it a Bud Light?
Not really.
Probably a wise idea. So for the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light. Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
Oakland.
Airball collected by Cheney. Now Strickland lobbing for Weber the slam. Weber. The slam. Oh, the slam.
Washington Wizards win again. Good morning. Mike Bringwood Sports. Dave Johnson with the call. WWRC in front of a raucous crowd at the MCI Center that included President Bill Clinton. The Wizards whacked the Philadelphia 76ers 100-91. Wizards starting to gel as they fight for a playoff spot, something that has head coach Bernie Bickerstaff all fired up.
We talk together, walk together, plan together, work together. Yeah!
Bickerstaff and the Wizards getting it done as they make their stretch run for the postseason. Again, they admitted they were extra pumped with the president on hand. Clinton chatted with several of the Wizard players after the game. In fact, was able to meet the Wizards dance team. Clinton said he's made plans with the co-captains of that squad today.
The three of us are just going to spend the day playing games and having fun with each other, and then we're going to go to a party tonight.
Wizards are off tonight, so the young ladies will have some extra time this evening.
That'll be fine.
Also from the NBA, Michael Jordan made what could be his last appearance as a player at Madison Square Garden yesterday, Bulls facing the Knicks. And typical Jordan, he bitterly argued with officials, menacingly taunted the fans, and, of course, hogged the ball, taking a season-high 67 shots as the Bulls beat the Knicks 102-89. NCAA tournament all set.
Hey, how did North Carolina beat Duke the other day? Are they just that much better? What happened there?
They're not that much better, but they are a better team.
Well, they are.
Absolutely.
Why is Duke ranked number one then?
Well, Duke is also very good. It's very close between the two of them. Just Carolina is a little bit better.
They beat them by 20 points, Mike.
But Duke also beat Carolina.
Well, I know, but I mean...
They will meet again in the Final Four.
Why am I asking you this?
Because I know.
They're both number one seeds, aren't they? And then Kansas and Arizona.
Correct. Duke is the number one seed. Carolina, Kansas, and Arizona. 6 schools, by the way, with at least 20 wins did not make the tournament, so they have reason to beat today, including 21-8 Coppin State, a very good team that did not make it. One other note, Latrell Sprewell speaks.
The Golden State guard appearing on 60 Minutes last night actually said the perception that he choked Coach P.J. Carlesimo was all wrong.
I wasn't choking P.J. P.J., he could breathe. It's not like he was just losing air or anything like that. I mean, it wasn't a choke. I wasn't trying to kill P.J.
Let me be the first to apologize to Luttrell for misunderstanding all that he did against P.J. Carlesimo.
I'm giving him a massage, that's all.
And
you know what I'm saying?
That's
that
sports.
Hitler maneuver or something.
A hard-hitting interview from Leslie Stahl there, too, on 60 Minutes.
Yeah, between Luttrell Sprewell and Tony Morrison, it was Hate Whitey night on 60 Minutes.
I mean, Tony Morrison, settle down, sweetheart. God almighty. Well, the first line of her new novel, Paradise, should have been the tip.
Really?
But they shoot the white girl first. And what else, Mike?
Mike, I signed off.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Are you not in a good mood this morning, Mike, or what's wrong?
I'm in a fine mood. You're not here.
There's the beer, Lou! Andy Rooney, here now on the I'm Mr. Money program. Andy Rooney this week is playing hardball with hairballs, Andy.
You ever wonder, as I do, why some people get caught in things like, I don't know, building collapses while others don't? Well, there's no justice, it seems, is there?
No.
The other day, I heard my old friend and colleague Walter Cronkite say on the show here that when somebody dug beneath the 12 feet of putrid slime lining the bottom of some riverbed or the other, they found the habitat of a colony of unimaginably repulsive leech-like creatures, including the attorney William H. Ginsburg. Well, the dredging crew just dug deeper into the turd pile. You know what they found residing even beneath the leeches?
No.
Yes, you're right. Richard Rick Kaplan, president of CNN. Always wondered where a thing like that could originate. Now we know. From beneath William Ginsburg. God, what awful people. There was old Rick, two eyes staring up at us out of the sludge. Couldn't miss him. The brown nose, the tick-like sucking mouth parts. The latter, of course, a trait shared with the kinds of people we see in Mike McCurry, Lanny Davis, Sid Blumenthal, and, well, by golly, as I think about it, Monica Lewinsky. Well, what happened this time to draw our attention to Mr. Kaplan?
Yeah.
He scrabbled above the ooze sufficiently to make some critical remarks about Sam Donaldson, the ABC News egghead.
Egghead?
No, I don't mean by that Sam is smart. I simply mean it looks as though an egg broke on his head and rotted. Anyway, what Sam said early on in the Lewinsky mess is that our fearless leader, Bill you-know-who, might have to resign if, and this is a big if evidence developed to show that he was lying. Well, now comes Kaplan. Perhaps I should have put that differently. Now Kaplan spouts off. That's better, though. Still not perfect. Anyway, here's Ricky clutching his chest at a journalism affair attended by a couple of hundred media and business fakers. And what in God's name was Rick Kaplan doing at a journalism anything, I wonder? But I'm straying. Here he was, wagging his finger in self-righteous piety, saying Sam should never have made the Clinton comment because he wears two hats, sermonized Ricky. As a White House reporter, co-anchor of ABC's unwatchable Sunday morning show. Excuse me, Rick Kaplan preaching on news ethics? This from a, you'll forgive the term, journalist and president of a news organization who has intimate first-hand knowledge of Bill Clinton's colon. His head's so far up the damn thing. Maybe that's what CNN stands for. The Clinton Colon Network. I mean, Kaplan's played more rounds of golf with Clinton than Vernon Jordan has. His nose is as brown as Jordan's, though not genetically so.
That will be fine.
Well, anyway, now that Monica's bounced out of there, she's left behind some pretty big knee pads to fill. Here, Rick, try these on. Perfect.
Andy Rooney here on the I'm Mr. Morning program. It is 8 minutes early out.
Every child needs someplace to go after school. So I think it's important to point out that the hours between 3 and 7 at night are the most vulnerable hours for young people to get in trouble. There is this sort of assumption that everybody that gets in trouble when they're young has just already been abandoned. That's not true. Most of the kids that get in trouble after school closes and before their parents get home from work.
Tell your mama, tell your pa, gonna sing it right now. This song, no. Mama, she don't do right. unzip my fly. I unzip my fly. Monica Lewinsky dropped the big one on me. Hot nights in the Oval Orifice. How things have changed now, I'm the one who's on his knees. I only had 2 years more. This ain't the way it was supposed to go. Lord of mercy. I unzipped my fly. What you want? Didn't think it was immoral if I kept things strictly oral. I unzipped my fly. What you want? What you want? She reached into my jockeys, played some big league tonsil hockey. I told her to keep it quiet, but then she blabbed it to her friend. Guess it's too late now to say I'll never do it again. Word! Linda Tripp tapes conversations, the entire blow-by-blow. Never! Another government probe. Sometimes I feel like Joe. Go, baby! I'm just gonna lie. Just deny the entire matter. Say she's madder than a hatter. I'm just gonna lie. Like I really like the sky up so high. Come clean and tell the truth. I'd be like my own John Wells Booth. I'm just going to lie. What you want? What you want? I'm just going to lie. What you want? What you want? Jesus, oh my God, why have you forsaken me? This is my crucifixion. 'Cause Kenneth's story's giving her immunity. Truth is stranger than fiction. I'm ending up like Richard Nixon. Lord have mercy. I'm just gonna lie. Like I really like the sky up so high. Professors will be teaching my unfortunate impeaching. I'm just gonna lie. Deny the accusations, 'cause it was foreplay, not relations. I'm just going to lie. What you want? What you want? Kiss my ass goodbye. What you want? What you want?
Super Bill and Fly here on the Imus Morning program. I've only played that about 100 times, but it could be my favorite all-time song parody here at the Imus Morning program. Well, Senator John McCain's already here, and we're going to...
I've already got more trouble than I need. Thanks, but no thanks, baby. I've already got more trouble than I need. I don't want no lonely, lustful woman's irate husband after me. Imus in the morning.
As the world leader in cardiovascular and
Star 500 finally completed. Good morning, Mike Brainwood Sports. The rain-delayed NASCAR event from Atlanta goes to Bobby Labonte, who overcame chilly winds and turbulent skies that threw showers down on the drivers yesterday, even as they finished the race. Labonte fought through it, however, despite struggling with the 24-hour rain delay.
I mean, waiting around so long is just so aggravating because you just don't know what's, it just takes forever. And it just seems like I've caught up on all the movies and everything I could catch up on in the motorhome.
Labonte said he watched Deliverance several times. In fact, Ned Beatty is his favorite actor. Congratulations to Bobby Labonte. Finishing in second place was Dale Jarrett.
Who did my brother pick? Rusty Wallace, right?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Well,
he didn't win. Case
no,
closed.
No, he didn't.
Time to move on. NBA last night, Utah Jazz beat the Houston Rockets in Salt Lake. Rockets getting 37 points from a 37-year-old. Eddie Johnson with the big output. No biggie, says Eddie.
It was just one of them nights. I've had plenty of those before. So it's not a surprise to me. I think it's a surprise to people, the young guys that I played with. But I don't think it's a surprise to anybody that's followed me. You know, I get into the zone and I get it rolling. And it was tonight.
There you go.
Keep it bouncing, yo.
Rockets playing without 3 suspended players, including Akeem Olajuwon, the religious center who was suspended 1 game for fighting. Now, we love Duke coach Mike Krzyzewski, but Coach K a little paranoid. He's upset his Blue Devils have to play their first 2 rounds in Lexington, Kentucky. He's upset because he's afraid Kentucky fans are still mad over Christian Leitner's buzzer beater back in '92 when Duke beat Kentucky.
They probably are.
He fears the fans will root against his team when they face that powerhouse opponent in the first round, Radford. Coach K's got to calm down a little bit. World Figure Skating Championships coming up. Tara Lipinski says she will not compete. The Olympic gold medalist says she's tired and suffering from an infection.
Oh, come on here.
That's what it says. No specifics concerning the infection were given. But Tara says it's all...
Charles. Don't encourage him.
It's all too much.
I don't think I'll be 100% with this. I don't think I can. With medication I'm on and everything, it's kind of holding me back.
There you go. It's already starting for the young lass.
She's going to be... God,
we never win.
Fine.
That's sports. I'm Mike Breen.
16 to the hour now.
Hey, Bubba, Betty Curry's outside. She wants to talk to you.
Now, what the hell does she want? She lose her mop again?
Something about her not wanting to be a shill for you anymore. Something like she ain't no Black Rosemary Woods.
Tell her I'm not here. Tell her you couldn't find me. No, wait. Tell her I'm dead.
She looks pissed. What did you do to her? You didn't her, did you?
No. Jesus, Beavis, who the hell you think I am? Bill Mandingo Cohen? All I did was tell Kenneth Starr under oath that it was Betty who initiated all the efforts to help Monica find a job.
That's it? Well, that's not the worst lie you've ever told.
And if he inferred anything from that statement, like there was a munchitation situation between the two of them, well, that's not my fault.
Whoa, dude, you have some real serious issues with women.
Well, I do pride myself on my Playboy and Penthouse collections, but...
No, I bet you got problems with chicks.
Well, that's just not true, Beavis. Why put women up on a pedestal?
Sure, because it's easier to look up their skirts.
Now, just the other day, I promoted Eileen Collins to become America's first female shuttle pilot.
Just so you can say Commander Collins is now ready for re-entry.
Well, I'll tell you what, she was so cute, I got launch ready with my Saturn rocket. Ground control to Major Woody.
All right, honey, thank you.
Fred.
Yes? I want you to take better care of my brother. He's just a sickly old fool. And
He's much healthier now that he's been with me.
Healthier? He's damn near dead.
No.
He says he couldn't get any worse. You know, I'd really love to hear you two talk some more, but we have to go.
If your radio light sucks in the morning, you're listening to Imus in the Morning.
All right, Teresa, what's the matter, baby?
I don't want to hear no more about your wife. I don't want to hear no more about your brother. These people are not funny. Every time I turn around, it's your wife, honey, this and honey. Tell her to get a job. She was trying to open up a wash machine. You have a maid, buddy, and I know this woman don't know how to work a wash machine. She done trapped you. You used to be so good. But please keep these 2 people off.
Imus in the morning. Sports Radio 66, WFAN.
To determine if disease lies within. Once again, Chief Clinician and veteran broadcast reporter Walter Cronkite.
There is a material, a slime, if you will, that befouls the bottoms of many of our nation's great waterways. The Hudson, the mighty Mississippi, the Monongahela. A PCB-defiled muck that is the accumulated putrescence of a society's toxic effluent, coating the channels of our riverbeds like the very sludge of death. Dark, fetid, unimaginably revolting. Dig, if you dare, beneath that terrible stratum of morbidity. And what does one find? William H. Ginsburg, attorney at law. Mother of God, where else could this creature have come from than the very depths of perdition? William H. Ginsburg, the Mayflower madam of Machiavellian manipulation. And as we have seen so horrifically over the past several weeks, no place is safe from this bamboozling, bow-tied, bearded barrister of the bazaar, the mouthpiece, sorry, poor choice of terms, the counsel for Monica Lewinsky. Intern or inmate, her fate is in his hands. As he reaches for the record books, intent on shattering the mark for most appearances on television in the shortest possible time by a non-entity. A trophy it seems certain Ginsburg will forever retire. Forget Johnny Cochran and the lawyerly legions he dragged along with him to various venues out of the O.J. trial. Ginsburg puts them all to shame. He has managed to parlay ambulance pursuit into a 15-minute career as the gonzo of the legal path, star of his own miniseries in which his client seems to have been written out. And who is this preening, predatory parasite, really? A gunslinging, super-savvy criminal lawyer? Excuse me, Robert Bennett, but I don't think so. No, indeed. Our mealy-mouthed Perry Mason is a malpractice attorney for doctors. The guy who tells the court you died because you were sick, not because Jack Kevorkian left his Rolex in your gizzard. How in God's name did poor Monica wind up with this moron? One is compelled to ask. And even more telling, why in God's name do the scandalmongers at the television networks put the lip-brained bastard on the air? A wretched excuse for a productive member of society whose principal claim to fame appears to be that he can outflip the greatest flip-flopper the world had previously known, the other protagonist in this whole tawdry affair, William Jefferson Clinton. Black is white, white is black, except when the whole mess is a very convenient dark gray. And not if it benefits Monica Lewinsky, but rather if it benefits William H. Ginsburg. May the Klieglites cave in that smarmy expression of self-satisfied superiority the next time we hear him say, "Thanks, Tim, for inviting me." For Media Watch, this is Walter Cronkite. Thank you and good night.
I swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God.
Southern lover had me some fun.
He was governor in May 91.
Met a girl, made my knees knock.
Dropped his pants, showed me his little rock.
In the nude, raunchy and crude, on that that Arkansas night.
Tell the court, every sordid detail.
Tell the court, did he make you inhale? The state trooper brought me upstairs.
She was super, man, what a pair.
Made a pass, wanted a kiss.
I pinched her ass, told her to kiss this.
Older dude, she was so rude on that Arkansas night. Tell the court, did you two both embrace?
Tell the court, did she have to use mace?
He's impulsive, a hideous brute.
She's repulsive, how'd I think she was cute?
I've been dissed throughout my crusade.
I'll tell you this, I didn't get laid.
Not a prude, but I know what's lewd on that Arkansas night. Tell the court, is it just politics?
Tell the court, can she ID your penis?
Made an offer, but Susan said no.
Didn't bother, though she was a ho.
Legal counsel, they took a hike.
She turned me down. She's probably a dyke.
Now you're screwed, 'cause you're being sued for that
It is coming up on the top of the hour. Chip Reed is at the White House. David Bloom's going to travel with the president wherever he's going.
Something's wrong when you think you're the Messiah. Something's wrong. You must take a plane for Venus. Something's wrong when your girlfriend's got a penis. Something's wrong. In the morning.
Marcel! People have been asking me all morning what I'm doing out here in the middle of Fifth Avenue, and I tell them I'm tailgating. Why here? Well, when you tailgate, you come to where I work.
Now, here's my question. Okay. If players ran plays and performed at the level that he did doing that commercial, he'd cut him.
Well,
and my other question is, why not either make him do it right and make him not sound like it's a remedial reading class, or does the coach have such an attitude, and I suspect that he does. He's a good guy, but he has such a chip on his shoulder that it's unbelievable. Does the coach is just unwilling to do the commercial so that it sounds decent?
We'll run through this, get this over with.
Is it a one-take situation? He just refuses to do anymore.
Sure.
I suspect that's his attitude.
I suspect you're right.
But I mean, there's no excuse for that kind of a performance. He wouldn't put up with it from one of his players.
Absolutely not.
But why does Cadillac put up with it? Because it doesn't sound good. It's not selling me on Cadillacs, by the way. It's not making me want to buy a Cadillac. It's making me think that this moron sounds like he's in a remedial reading class.
It's frustrating you rather than
encouraging. It's irritating.
There you go.
That's a business report. Sponsored by the New York Stock Exchange, our friends over there, right? It is 20 minutes after the hour here at the Imus Morning program. Well, I've been talking here about...
I frankly feared for his safety. Imus in the Morning, the controversial new animated series that pushes the envelope of political incorrectness, indecency, and bad taste.
Wow, that intern chick's got a nice ass. I'm gonna have her come to the Oval Office to give me a Hummer. Dude, you can't do that. She's only 21. Excuse me, but am I the president or not?
Those lovably foul-mouthed, morally bankrupt, two-dimensional characters who just happen to be running the country.
Check it out. That Nazi bastard David Brock is apologizing for the piece of shit he wrote the American Spectator about that ugly bitch Paula. Jesus, what a...
Come on over and spend a little time on the South Lawn.
Now, if you want to keep your woman providing you with that hot, wet, muggy love, you got to give her presents. Jewelry, books of poetry. Then when you want her to keep her fat mouth shut, you got to offer her a job.
South Lawn. It's irreverent.
Oh, my God, dude, they killed Vince Foster.
In your face.
Oh, my God, dude, they killed Jim McDougal.
The place where nobody's afraid to raise the bar when it comes to abuses of power.
Oh, my God, dude, they killed Kenny Starr. No, they didn't, you asshole. At least not yet.
South Lawn with McCurry, the press secretary who sure talks a lot, but no one really knows what the hell he's saying. Vernon, the loyal African-American best friend.
If you're gonna get freaky with a hottie, you better have a whole lot of money.
And that fat, flatulent, philandering leader of the free world, Clinton.
You. I'm a great big slab of 100% beefcake. Now go outside and tell that quota hire that when she talks to the homo special prosecutor, she better do the right thing and say that fat bitch Monica was her friend, or she can get right back on that pancake box. And tell her to bring me some more apple fritters, damn it. What the am I paying her for?
South Lawn, coming soon to Imus in the Morning.
That radio cowboy punk can kiss my ass. His show sucks, he sucks, and the brother of his sucks too. And if Fred doesn't send me some of those tortilla chips, I'll get Paul McGallow to smoke his Santa Fe ass.
South Lawn here on the troubling here on the Imus Morning program. It is 21 after the hour. Well, this morning spent and yet another unrelated story. And I don't know if you'll have time to check into this or not, but Bernard and Charles are charging Paul McGallow with the murder of James McDougal. Could you look into that? Maybe we'll talk tomorrow or something.
I don't think I'll have time for that one.
Hello, Jim. Hello, Jim. Test. Gotta go to the trial. See you. See you, Imus.
Your radio sounds funny in the morning. You're listening to Imus in the Morning.
James McDougal was in solitary in a Texas prison when he collapsed and died. They still have a little bit of a flap over why First Lady Hillary Rodham Clinton's name was not on the official condolence message. Mrs. Clinton.
Maybe she was just too overwrought.
Maybe she was. Couldn't pick up a pen.
Yeah, maybe just hung over, perhaps.
Maybe tomorrow.
No, it's too late then.
Had a conga line going around the...
with Bagala and Garbo and...
Yeah, Lanny Davis back for a few days. Yeah.
Welcome to London, sir. Where to?
Coleman, Imus.
Alrighty.
Please don't start now.
What?
Please don't
You mean
start.
about the president, what a pig he is? What a disgusting pig he is? And you said it from the beginning. You know, Mike Barnacle said what you said as an extended version of the total foundation of what you said. If your wife can't trust you, who can?
That was Ross Perot who said that.
I mean, what do you think you told Chelsea?
Well,
you know, honey, well, look at how I used to help your little girlfriends with their homework in the Oval Office. You know, Monica's about your age. a few things. She has a few problems. Growing pains, you know.
If your radio sounds funny in the morning, you're listening to Imus in the morning.
You know, when presidents would like this, who wants to have a kid? Who wants to bring a kid into this ugly world?
Honey.
With pigs like that.
Honey, I get 20 hours of this a day at home. I don't want the raving on the radio.
Well, I'm actually, you know, I'm being good, don't you think?
Not great. At least one Imus makes sense. Mild. Hey, you want to take a 5-day walk from Manhattan to Hoboken? I'm in place. He is worn up. Water? You bastard. Now, Warner went to American University. That's right. So each year refuses to pick a Final Four. That's right. Because American University is never in it. They're never in it. And he doesn't care about it. No. But we care about it. That's right. So we're insisting, or no, we're not insisting anything. We're encouraging you to make a Final Four selection. We're asking if you won't reconsider your position. That's better. We're asking if you would reconsider your position. Now, I mean, you work for Channel 2 here in New York, which is a CBS station. That's right. And they broadcast March Madness. That's right. You think you get involved in this? That's right. We need more enthusiasm from you. That's right. You know what I can't wait for? What? That Duke Radford game at 1 a.m. in the morning. Okay. All right. Well, we can ignore that. We can take a negative approach to this, a cynical approach, or we can be enthusiastic and support it. Well, anybody can pick Duke, North Carolina, Arizona, and Kansas, right? I mean, the 4 number 1 seed. Yeah, everybody's doing it. I mean, that's really going out on a limb. Arizona won't make it, and neither will Duke to the Final Four. See, now neither Arizona nor Duke will be at the Final Four, and I will give Francesa a little Porsche car, a little model car. Right. Is Francesa going to be on tomorrow, by the way? Yes, he is. Okay. So. Well, I think that's making a statement. You're saying 2 of the 4 won't be around. No, will not. I guarantee it. I guarantee that. Oh, my God. That's a guarantee. Wow. I guarantee that Arizona and Duke will not be in the Final Four. I guarantee that. Wow. Even though I'd like to see both of them there, by the way. That's a car title. I have a special affection for Arizona, the Wildcats in Tucson. Right. And I like Krzyzewski, so. Is that a car title guarantee? Must be. All right. No, I don't think we want to get into that again. I just think that... Is it a lug lock? Yes, I guarantee they will not be there. All right. That's huge. Yeah, it's time for sports, and here with all that is Warner. Good morning. Well, are you going to make a Final Four thing now? Well, I'm a loyal guy. All right. So until I'm going with the local New York teams, I mean, I would like to see them win. That'd be great. St. John's, Iona, Fairleigh Dickinson. I mean, come on. How about Connecticut? Connecticut. Well, that's in stores. I mean, we're stretching it a little bit, right? Oh, he's really 100 miles. All right. Princeton, New Jersey. But you're talking about 3 teams. That's actually our audience. I might want to point out to you. As opposed to, say, St. John's. Oh, yeah. Princeton. Princeton and UConn. That would be our audience, Warner. Okay. All right. Go ahead. Good morning, Warner. Good morning. Thank you, I-Man. This 2020 Sports Report brought to you by Dial a Mattress. To order your mattress, just call 800-MATTRESS. All right. Come on. Get a map. What? NCAA pairings. You thought Delaware was in the eastern part of the United States? You're wrong. Wrong. You're wrong. Delaware's in the Midwest Regional in Chicago. Makes perfect sense. Your geography book tells the kids that UCLA is on the West Coast? Wrong. UCLA is in the South, playing in Atlanta. Sure. Come on, give these guys a map. If you were Indiana and had a choice of paying a $10,000 fine with Bobby Knight coaching or pay nothing and let Knight sit out the first round game against Oklahoma, what would you do? Okay. I'd pay the fine. You'd pay the fine. Indiana has until noon today to decide. They haven't even told him yet. I mean, can you imagine him sitting around and saying, what are these guys thinking of? Let them sit. Don't pay the money. Remember Nikisha Sales? No. Oh, yeah, sure. Right. She was brought back for one game last month with a torn Achilles tendon just so she could get a free basket, become Connecticut's all-time leading scorer. Well, according to ESPN magazine, she's still 1 point short. Oh, my God. It appears the scorekeeper in the UConn-Seton Hall game last month mistakenly gave Sales 25 points when she had only 23. Oh, man. Bring her back. Give her another free basket. Well, this is great. This is justice. This is good, because that should have never happened in the first place. Absolutely. Cheaters don't win. No. That's it. There you go. No, you got to play the hand you're dealt. That's it. There's no justice. Yeah. That's right. No justice, no peace, right, Bernie? I hear you humming. Injuries. We have about 40 seconds. 40 seconds. Denver rolls on. In the NBA losing their 16th straight game. The Suns 100, the Nuggets 76. The Nuggets dropped to 5-58. How bad are the Nuggets?
Terrible.
You could get a team of the I-Man. Bernard, Lou, Charles McCord, and Rob Bartlett play 63 games, go 0-63, and be only 5 games behind Denver. That's it. For Imus of the Morning Sports, this is Warner Wolf.
Imus in the morning. Gonna shoot you right down, right off of your feet. Take you home with me. Put you in my house. Boom, 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 boom. Imus in the morning.
Hello, this is Eric Clapton, and you've got 1027 WNEW FM in New York.
How would you like to be?
People keep talking about that the polls, 80%, 85% in the polls. Well, who the hell are they polling? That's what I want to know.
Man, I got a green banana here, Leon.
Why can you be telling me that? Talking to a black man talking about bananas.
Oh, no, you're not gonna make them. You jerk.
You over there insulting me, man.
No, I'm not insulting you. I mean, the green.
Telling people
No, I honestly.
Please, hold on, let me talk, man. What's the matter? Because I'm black, you ain't gonna let me talk? You got your boy Bernard over there telling people he's Antoine from the Bronx, man. He looks like Snow White to me.
Your radio sounds funny in the morning. You're listening to Imus in the morning.
You know, you say you were Marine, right?
No.
The only Marine you went to was Marine Land because you a jellyfish. You're a number of jellyfish.
I can't believe how you get me upset when I'm trying to eat my
I'm not
banana
trying to
here.
get you. Get off that banana shit. I'm coming up there.
Give me some peanuts
You
here
better
in a
get off that
minute.
banana. Let me tell you something else. People always talking about your neck, man. I know it ain't your neck. That's foreskin.
Imus in the morning. Sports Radio 66. WFAN.
You long. Here's Warner Wolf.
Good morning, Warner. Good morning. Thank you, I-Man. This Imus in the Morning Sports Report brought to you by Subaru Forester. Experience the beauty of all-wheel drive at your New York, New Jersey Subaru dealer. Let the games begin. Between now and March 30th, over the next 18 days and nights, 64 teams will play 63 games. Since the present seed system was put into effect in 1979, how many times have all 4 top seeds reached the Final Four? Never. Never. So history is on the I-Man side, saying that Duke and Arizona won't be in the Final Four.
Right.
Right?
My Final 40, do you care what mine is?
Absolutely.
Kansas, Kentucky, North Carolina, and Cincinnati.
Cincinnati?
Yeah.
Wow.
Don't they have a pretty good team?
Well,
I haven't beaten Arkansas.
yeah.
No?
I wouldn't think so.
I haven't beaten Arizona, too.
Well, what do I know?
That's right. You don't think they have
I mean, look, take your shot, man.
Sure.
That's it.
What do you mean I made a bad choice here? I can change it.
Hey, look.
Still, you can change it now, yeah.
Anybody can pick those 4. I mean, when people come on and say, yeah, I'm picking those 4, those Arizona and Arkansas. And,
number 1 seed, you mean?
Yeah, come on, get them out of here.
Oh, okay.
I mean, the real guy goes for Navy, right? Or Nickel State. I mean, those are the picks, right?
Well, I think you've got to make a pick that you have some realistic chance of winning, don't you?
Well,
rather than just to be different. Don't you?
Well, I go for different.
All right. As opposed to trying to win.
It's where they play these games, I-Man.
That's right. How about Radford? Come on.
Well, Radford.
Give these teams a shot.
Get out of here.
Well, they're in there.
Warner continues.
All right. Arizona, 26-point favorite over Nicholls State. North Carolina, 28-point favorite over Navy. How about Navy now? Here's junior guard Skip Victor.
We expect to win, or else we wouldn't have came here. We would have just stayed at home if we thought we were going to lose this game. We expect to win this game. We don't come out saying, hey, we're going to lose to North Carolina. We come out saying Navy's going to come out on top.
That's it. That's the spirit. That's the Navy spirit. 6 of the 8 home teams won in the NBA last night. Charlotte Hornets made it 9 in a row, beat the Knicks 85-78. WFAN's John Minko.
On the drive, Anthony Mason in the lane. Muscles it up and good, and again, it'll count and a chance for a three-point play.
Mason mauling, appalling the Knicks now with his antics off the dribble penetration.
The Denver Nuggets did not lose last night. They didn't play. Meanwhile, winning on the road, the Wolves over the Warriors, 113-84. Wolves play-by-play man Kevin Harlan.
Weatherspoon catches, feeds a pass, picked up by Garnett, by midcourt, the breakaway, buckle up, the big windmill, and the big kicker with the tomahawk jam, rocking the rim, up high and down hard. They call that the high hard one.
22 for Kevin Garnett. Leave Mo Vaughn alone. Vaughn says the Red Sox will not talk to him about a long-term deal until they are sure that Vaughn does not have a drinking problem.
Well,
Vaughn, who has refused Boston's request that he undergo an alcoholic evaluation, says watch out for a smear campaign. It'll be coming soon to a theater near you. And finally, talk about being picayune. Pete Rose visited the Red Spring Training Complex in Sarasota yesterday and made an impromptu speech to 100 Cincinnati rookies, plus his son, Reds AAA Farm Club member. And baseball officials say this could hurt Rose's chances for reinstatement, and the Reds may be fined because it's in violation of Rose's lifetime ban agreement. Now, if you're a Reds rookie and you have Pete Rose talking to you, I mean, what else could you ask for?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And here they are, all of a sudden he's in trouble.
I don't know. I've heard Pete Rose. I don't know if he'd have a lot that he could share with you other than
Pete Gump? Oh,
yeah,
no, wait.
But he might be able to. 11 minutes till the hour here on the Imus Morning program. Bob Hager covers airplane and science stuff. Is that right, Bob?
Hey, hi, Iman. Yes, that's it.
So there's a front page. Well, first of all, thanks for coming on, Mr. Hager.
Sure.
There's a front page story in the New York Times this morning. The asteroid is expected to make a pass close to Earth in 2028.
Pretty wild stuff.
But in the first paragraph, it says that there is a possibility, because McCord's been telling me this morning, trying to scare me to death, telling me that, in fact, it's going to hit Earth, and I guess according to this article written by Malcolm Brown in the New York Times, there is that possibility. What do you know about all this?
Well, they got a wide range of possibilities there, but it's serious stuff. It's coming from Brian Marsden, who runs what's called the Central Bureau for Astronomical Telegrams. It's up in Boston. But these are very, very serious, dedicated people. They're watching the skies for these asteroids and so forth. So they've developed this range of possibilities. They only saw this asteroid about a couple months ago for the first time. So they got to make more measurements. But at the outside, it could miss the Earth by 160,000 miles. At the worst case, it could be a direct hit. That's very, very unlikely, but they can't rule it out. And the most probable line right now, but it's very early, we're 30 years away from this, takes it 26,000 miles from Earth. So sounds like a long way, but it's not very, very long in astronomical terms. So it is something to be concerned about. I mean, these are serious guys, and they're concerned.
If it hits the Earth, what would happen?
Oh, my God, the calculations are awful. Well, the asteroid that wiped out the dinosaurs was 5 miles wide. This one is said to be 1 mile wide, so it's not as Earth-threatening as that. But 1 mile wide would do a number on the Earth. I mean, if it hit the ocean, it would raise these tidal waves that would wash both shores of whatever ocean it hit it and wipe things out along the shore. On land, I mean, it could wipe out a pretty good-sized city, an asteroid a mile wide. I mean, but the good news is that, first of all, very, very slim possibility that it ever hit the Earth. Second, this is all 30 years away from now, so you got a good chance to figure out what to do about it in the meantime if future calculations show that it's still on this course.
Of course, something else will happen between now and then. It'll make us forget about all of this, and then this will come up and blindside us. Bob, thank you very much.
Okay, sure.
Bob Hager, NBC News in Washington. Well, I guess you're sort of...
Well, told you so.
Although this article in the Times front page does say it's impossible to calculate
Yes, it
exactly
is. It is.
the percentage of potential possibility. Is there a 50% potential or whatever? That's not possible, but
there's now a margin of error of tens of thousands of miles either way.
Yeah.
Either way.
Yeah.
I meant.
It could be as far away as 160, did he say?
He said that's the latest. They're thinking 160,000 miles out or
just close to 28 or 20.
And that the current calculation is that it could pass within 26,000 miles. Now, these geosynchronous satellites that they put in orbit for telecommunications and that sort of thing?
No.
They're 22,000 miles out. So that gives you an idea of just how close that 26,000 miles would be.
Mm-hmm.
You digging it, baby?
Yes, but
you digging the story?
I just... I wish that it would hit today. We hit Howard Kurtz. That's what I wish.
Please help me, I'm falling in love with you. Close the door to temptation. Don't let me walk through. Turn away from me, darling. I'm begging you to. Please help me, I'm falling in love with you. Imus in the morning.
Another excerpt from the Bill Clinton Diaries.
Dear Diary, that nice fellow David Brock apologized in an open letter in the April edition of Esquire magazine for the article he wrote for the American Spectator about the Paula Jones deal. It's refreshing when you can get a man to eat some humble pie instead of, well, another man. At least it was an Esquire and not Outweek. I did get a little nervous when he wrote he wasn't interested in good government or serious journalism. He just wanted to pop me. Until I read the next line where it said, right between the eyes. Whew, I was worried there for a second. Kathy Willie appeared before the federal grand jury. I guess they wanted some gory details about that time I allegedly groped her in the Oval Office. Well, all I did was try to console her in her hour of need. Of course, at the time of our encounter, she wasn't yet aware that her husband had committed suicide, but I was getting ready to tell her and just trying to soften the blow. Let her down easy. Help her get a grip. I mean, comfort her. But I tell you what, Diary, I'm starting to understand how he felt, because she's starting to make me think about killing myself. Bubba.
This is WFAN in New York. It's time for the news. Here with that is Charles McCoy. Good morning, Chuck.
Good morning, I-Man. In the headline stories locally, hepatitis